As a Christian, it's becoming increasingly challenging to trust the mainstream media due to its blatant bias, lack of objectivity, and utter disregard for biblical values. The media's primary role is to inform and educate the public, but unfortunately, it has deviated from its core purpose and now serves as a platform for promoting agendas that undermine Christian principles. One of the primary reasons Christians cannot trust the mainstream media is its deliberate avoidance of covering stories that highlight the plight of persecuted Christians worldwide. While the media is quick to report on issues that align with their liberal ideologies, such as LGBTQ+ rights, feminism, and climate change, they conveniently ignore the suffering of Christians in countries like Nigeria, China, and North Korea. This lack of coverage is not only appalling, but also reveals the media's inherent bias against Christianity. Furthermore, the mainstream media has a tendency to distort and manipulate facts to fit their narratives, often to the detriment of Christians and conservative values. For instance, during the 2020 US presidential election, several mainstream media outlets deliberately omitted or dampened stories that showcased Joe Biden's questionable policies and conduct, while amplifying every negative aspect of Donald Trump's presidency. This biased reporting created a false narrative that misled the public and undermined the democratic process. As Christians, we are called to be truthful and honest, and it's disheartening to see the media perpetuate lies and misinformation. Another significant concern is the media's relentless assault on Christian values and traditions. The mainstream media frequently mocks and ridicules Christians who uphold biblical teachings on issues like marriage, abortion, and gender identity. They label Christians as intolerant, bigoted, and hateful for simply adhering to their faith's doctrines. This kind of demonization creates a toxic atmosphere that intimidates Christians into silence, making it challenging for them to express their opinions and beliefs without fear of retribution. In addition, the mainstream media's obsession with promoting a secular, humanistic worldview has led to the erosion of Christian morals and ethics in society. By consistently pushing an agenda that emphasizes personal autonomy, self-reliance, and moral relativism, the media undermines the biblical concept of absolute truth and objective morality. As a result, Christians are forced to navigate a cultural landscape that is increasingly hostile to their faith, making it difficult for them to raise their children, engage in public discourse, and live out their faith without compromise. The mainstream media's influence on popular culture is also a significant concern for Christians. The media's glorification of hedonism, materialism, and narcissism has created a culture that is antithetical to Christian values like humility, selflessness, and compassion. By celebrating celebrities, athletes, and influencers who embody these worldly values, the media perpetuates a false narrative that true fulfillment and happiness can be found in earthly pursuits, rather than in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Ultimately, as Christians, we are called to be discerning and critical of the information we consume, especially when it comes to the mainstream media. We must recognize that the media's primary goal is not to inform or educate, but to shape public opinion and promote a specific agenda. By being aware of these biases and influences, we can develop a healthy skepticism towards the media and seek out alternative sources of information that align with our Christian values. As the Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 10:5, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. As Christians, we must be vigilant in guarding our minds and hearts against the corrupting influences of the mainstream media, and instead, seek to renew our minds with the truth of God's Word.